Good morning. What an introduction.
Hello.
Thank you, everyone. So, Yaniv, what are we doing here?
I'm not so sure. They told us we need to come here on stage and talk a bit about checkpoint research.
Yeah, but
we only have 15 minutes to do
no,
it.
it's less, Yaniv.
Yeah,
So, who is the honorary? Who's managing that?
I think Moti is.
Okay,
yeah.
Moti, we need to talk to you later. But okay, so let's move on. So let's talk about checkpoint research.
Yeah.
So what's new about checkpoint research?
Well, for one, our logo is shiny and brand new.
Yeah, but the logo is amazing and new. But Yaniv, we are now in the era that the cybersecurity landscape is the most aggressive now. Cyber nations spending billions of dollars on offensive security, creating cyber weapons every day, seeking for vulnerabilities. And cybercrime, they are really ninjas, so we are on a very offensive era. So what's new about checkpoint research?
Well, you're absolutely right. And basically, checkpoint research is not a new thing. I mean, we've been doing this thing for ages. But we are now bigger and stronger, I think, than we've ever been. We're over 200 people that are doing exactly this thing.
Cyber warfare.
Yeah, and it's not only that, because as you said, the ecosystem changed a lot. And so our research needs to change a lot as well. You see, if until today we and the entire industry were very passive, we were sitting down looking for the attacks and then reacting, we can't continue that way.
No way, we need to start
fighting
back. And it means that we need to be proactive and active. And we are not waiting for the attacks to come to you guys. We are going after them. And this is the message that we want to give you today and share with you what we are really doing.
Right. And, we said that this thing is a really huge operation today. And we want to take you guys and girls a bit to the backstage of it and explain, just in a nutshell, how do we actually do that.
So we have 4 pillars that bring everything all, the operation. So let's start talk about the pillars. So the first pillar is the observe, is the ground. We have global sensor network of thousands of sensors that are getting incidents every time, millions of log every hour. We have honeypots, we have avatar everywhere that's bringing all the malicious data so we can start see what we can do with that.
Right, and from this pillar, we have a lot of information. So we now have terabytes, over terabytes of information. It's kind of like finding a needle in a haystack. And of course, we need a lot of special analysts, specialists, machine learning algorithms, and all the ways that we can think of in order to get the actionable intelligence, the stuff that we can do it from this entire huge pile of data.
And once we have this malicious data, and you know that today the sophistication of the malicious data, because we are seeing fingerprints of nations, of cybercrime, so we need to enter the squad into the malicious, actionable thing. And then the squad is like ripping off the pieces of the malicious thing, and then we can take decisions if we need to go after them, or we need to wait, or we need to let it continue and seek another information. So these guys are inside the malicious application, and they are telling us what exactly we need to do.
Right, and of course, that all wouldn't make a lot of sense if we wouldn't be able to use this entire funnel in order to innovate, to find new ways that we can build new features to the products, improve our algorithms, find new ways to get new and unique information.
And today, it's all about training the algorithm, not only on cybersecurity, also on social media. So training the algorithm is the key here. Also, every pillar is training the algorithm, so in order that we will be one step ahead all the time.
Absolutely.
So now, let's understand a little bit about the professions of the research. So we need to understand the entire attack vectors, the entire surface of the malicious actor are entering. So let's share with you a little bit about the professions that we have in the research.
Yeah, so we have a lot of specialties in checkpoint research, but let's just talk about just a few of them. So one is obviously mobile. We all know mobile, and we need specialists who knows everything about mobile, from the application layer and down to the hardware and embedded levels.
Web. This is the gate today for every infrastructure. serverless, container, APIs. We need to be there. We need to understand the connection, the logic. The software today is free, but the logic of the API is broken. So this is the gate, and we need to understand it perfectly.
IoTs. IoTs are
Everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah, from your teapots to your toasters to another whole bunch of useless technologies that are connected to the internet. But you know, these technologies can very easily be used as a pivot point for attackers to come into your networks from somewhere you wouldn't expect. So we need specialists who knows everything about these huge ecosystems and very diverse devices and embedded devices and technologies and everything within it.
Operating systems. Every operating system, different structure, kernels, user space, different APIs. We need to understand how everything is playing together, where they are coming from, what weaknesses they are finding on operation systems. So we need to be on top of all this data.
Right, and the last is not specifically a technology, but it involves the dark web. So we have a large operation of people that are actually interacting with the attackers. They are sitting in the forums, they are talking to them, they are pretending to be them so that they could feed us with very unique data that will allow us to do our job much, much better than before.
So how was 2018? It was crazy from my perspective.
Yeah.
This last cyber landscape got crazy, nation got crazy, cybercrime got crazy.
Yeah.
So what we did?
So we did so many things, and it's actually a challenge for us to try and tell you this in the time that we have left. But you've all, or most of you at least, seen Dorit's presentation yesterday, so we know that you can consume like 100 slides in 40 minutes. But we at Checkpoint Research like to take this one level higher. So here's for you 40 slides in just roughly under 50 seconds.
So this year was crazy year. We uncovered so much things, so much malicious activities, so much interest, so much technologies that cybercrime are using or nation state. But now we want to take you to the backstage of only 3 stories because we have less than 8 minutes. So let's start. Okay, so let's start with our first story, which is Fortnite. So Fortnite, it's not a game. It's a huge infrastructure, 200 million people, 80 million people playing a day, most of them kids. The infrastructure allow you to exchange cryptocurrency. And then in 2018, we got a lot of intelligence that this infrastructure is being exploited and being abused. So we started to dig down in this infrastructure. And after a few weeks, we uncovered the entire flow that was allowing the malicious actor to enter to this system and start attacking users. The flow that we saw was on the authentication methods, the token method. And when I said before that web is the infrastructure or is the gate for every infrastructure, then this is what we're going to see in the future. You will see stealing of accounts, stealing of a token, accounts worth a lot of money. So let's see a demo of it. Yes.
Dan, are you here? Where are you? Dan, meet me at the floor. Mom, I'm playing.
Yeah, such an exciting video.
Yeah, I like the music.
Okay, next research project we want to talk to you about, we called it Faxploit. So fax, you all know it, and usually it's used within this kind of all-in-one printers machines. And our research tried to look at this as a security black box, let's call it. And this black box has interfaces. On one side, it has interfaces like Wi-Fi, Ethernet, that connects this to the internal network, external network, basically to the world. And on the other side, it has this nice little telephone interface that connects it to, well, the 1970s, I guess. Yeah, and if you remember that at the end of the day, these things are really nothing but computers. I mean, they have CPUs and operating systems and memories and everything. So we imagined to ourselves what will happen if an attacker sitting somewhere in the world, equipped with his victim's phone number, fax number, and will be able to send a malicious fax and take over this thing. If he will be able to take over the printer, he will be able to easily pivot out of any one of these interfaces and reach the internal network, so effectively creating a bridge between the internal network and external network using nothing but a telephone line. This is an amazing concept, and we've made it happen. So here's a video showing you exactly how we do this. This is our attacker computer. All you need is a $5 modem you purchase in Amazon and to run a Python script. And this is our target poor fax machine. And as you see, the fax is being sent, and it's being processed.
But Yaniv, you know, faxes are on hospitals, schools, governments,
Faxes
everywhere.
are absolutely everywhere today. And as you see, a fax is received from an evil attacker. And that's it. Once it goes into printing stage, we now have complete control over the printer. It's ours. We can do whatever we want with it. But of course, we want to show how we can leverage this to get into the internal network. So our malicious fax actually included Eternal Blue, the leaked NSA exploit. And once a computer is connected to the network, it will immediately be exploited. So you will see a calculator popping in a second. And that basically means that we can run whatever we want on this computer. And basically, we breach the entire network using the phone line.
Drones. Okay, we have millions of drones out there. DJI, which is the biggest vendor of drone, excellent vendor for the professional and for the consumers. Every government today is using drones for the facilities, and users are using it. So we started to understand that this kind of data on the sky can be used cybercrime. We started to get intelligence that it's really happening. And also we understood that the United States government decided to ban out all DJI drones. So we started to look inside the drones and the infrastructure, and we found out that the DJI has amazing infrastructures, and one of the amazing infrastructure is an application that's called FlightHub, which gives you the ability to automate drones. You can take out like hundreds of drones and give them like different missions all around 24/7, and you can control it. And then we started to look inside what's going on about, again, the authentication processes, the APIs there, and we found many race conditions that can be bypassed easily, and we understood that that was the method that cybercrime used in order to take account. And once you are taking account, you have full control on the information, and in some cases, you have also full control on the drones. So now imagine what power you have on the sky when you can control drones, millions of drones out there. So let's see the demo.
That's basically all we have for today, and our time is done now. But if you want to see more of our work, feel free to visit our blog here or follow our Twitter account. And also, we have a very nice breakout session for you in the Hackers Expo. So please come and visit us. We have a lot of cool things going on.
And last thing I want to repeat and say that, again, the main message that we want to give you is that we are not waiting anymore for the data. We are coming after the malicious activity, and we will go and see it before it will come to you guys. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, guys.